Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Welcome to Oulton Park for a very exciting couple of days. I am here with Race Logic, the guys that make the VBox telemetry equipment that I've used in many videos over the last year or so. And they've invited me along over this weekend to race with them in the EnduroKA race tomorrow. It's a 5-hour endurance race in a little Ford KA. I did race in EnduroKA about 2 years ago in the inaugural season. Today is a test day. I've got my own pit garage. That is my ride for the next couple of days, and I'm the only one testing today. So we've got all afternoon to get me comfortable in the car and get me up to speed with driving this little car. A lot has changed since the last time I drove an EnduroKA, and in this video I'm going to document a little bit about today, but mainly the epic race that's going to take place tomorrow. Now I've had a bite to eat and the test session starts in just 5 minutes, so about to jump in the car. The really cool thing is we've got the telemetry from the car. I've just looked through a reference lap. The first session I'm going to go out and just get used to the car, and then when we come back in we can check my lap with reference laps and work out the best places to turn in, brake, throttle, all of those types of things, and I'll try my best to explain that. I might use a bit of voiceover and some screen grabs because there's so much information that's being picked up by the car. But first up, I'm just going to have a session and just get used to the car. But yeah, it's about to get real. Now then, that's end of session 2. I got flagged for track limits, so I've got to be pushing hard. Question is, am I getting faster? This is Rob from Race Logic, by the way. Say hello to YouTube, mate. How are we doing?
All right. You're definitely picking it up where we were talking about. We were looking at the first corner in particular.
Okay, 2 sessions down. That was a really interesting debrief. The best thing about having VBox on the car is you can see everything: G, accelerator, brake. It's just so useful. So I went out the first session, and there was 2 places I was losing time. Turn 1, and then there's a really nasty, sort of very fast double apex right-hander, and it's not quite flat, but it's a lift in 4th, and I was basically braking and just not committing to the corner. And then because you then after that you've got a big long straight, you lose so much speed. These cars don't have the power to pull you out of that, so you have to carry momentum through the corners. So in the second session I was sent out basically with the sole aim of sorting out turn 1, braking probably maybe 40 yards later, and maybe not even braking, just a lift. And then also, so I went out in second session and I've taken 3 seconds off my lap time in the second session compared to the first session. Ryan, session 3, that went even better.
Yeah, it did. And you look at the lines now, they're almost over the top of each other.
Yeah.
You're still losing a little bit here in the first corner, which then, as we know before, because that first corner's, you're not really slowing down then to the shell hairpin, which is half the lap. That little bit of lacking speed is what hurts you all the way along here. Yeah. And then there's a little bit of Druid still, but look at the others, they're almost over the top of each other. Your braking point here, I imagine, is one of the chicanes. Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely bang on. You can see that the 2 are together. Will has actually slowed the car down more, because he's on the red, you're on the blue. Yeah. He's actually slowed the car down more. You're carrying more speed through there, and you can see that has the effect of bringing the delta time slightly back. See, in this instance, if Will was in the team with us, we'd be saying to him, look, actually you can carry a little bit more speed on the apex, so that's really good. And then here at Druid, you're coming off. So let's just go through.
I'm still not brave enough there.
Yeah, so you're coming off there, and you're on like a park throttle as well. It's that thing of.
It's like, do I, don't I, do I, don't I?
And then he's coming off there.
Yeah. It's only a couple of frames, but
it's only a couple of frames. But when you're in one.
I was saying to the guys that one of the laps I was 0.6 down.
Yeah.
Over my delta going into Druids. Nailed it and got that back, and then some by the you can get half a second back.
The interesting thing as well is if we can look at combining your fastest sectors, your ideal lap, you've got a couple of tenths still that you could find just from what you've done already. Yeah. It's not even that you need to do anything different, you just need to stick it together.
Yeah, I love
Got
that.
one more session to go. I reckon just keep focusing on the first corner and Druids based on this. That's where your gains probably sit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. So 22, isn't there?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, your ideal lap is 2:22. It's really neat.
Let me talk you through my fastest lap in testing. Trying to brake just where the fencing starts on the left hand side here, off the gas, turning into Old Hall, hitting the apex, can't run too wide here, and then on the full gas. We've now got a long stretch downhill to a tight sweeping left-hander at Cascades. You can see the throttle trace just on the right hand side, off the throttle and then back on. Just feather through the apex. Now I'm on full throttle all the way up to Island Bend. By the end of the test session, Island Bend was flat, so if you look at the throttle trace, I'm fully on the gas. I'm going to turn in just to the right, there's a bit of tarmac just there, then turn in, still on the gas, then coming up to the Shell Oils hairpin. I'm now going to go from fourth down into third, try and get as much speed in and then just hug the apex. There's a really big bank on this. So you come out of Shell Oils and then down into Falston's, hanging on to third gear. Just taking myself to the right hand side of the track. There's a little bit of tarmac just on the right hand side, which is my braking point there. Turn in, left, right, then left, up, hilltop, and then flat hard on the gas. I'm just going to grab fourth at the top of hilltop and then down the hill into the chicane at Knickerbrook. Braking on the left hand side, down into third gear, and then just braking, trying to carry as much speed as I can into there, down into third. Hard in, hard right, then left, then this right hander coming round here up onto Clay Hill, again trying to carry as much speed as possible, hard on the gas, going to snatch up into fourth gear just at the top of Clay Hill, and then coming into my nemesis for the day, Druids. This really is a corner that you need to just have a very slight lift. There's an advertising hoarding on the left hand side just there, slight lift. I'm just feathering the throttle a bit, then hard on the throttle now, all the way down to Lodge. Lodge is a difficult corner. It's a technical right-hand corner. Then you go down into Deer Leap. So down, still staying in fourth, down into third, and I just come down into Deer Leap, hugging the left-hand side of the circuit, trying to make the shortest line possible. Grab fourth at the top of the hill, and then that is my fastest lap. A 22.28.
Well, then that's it. Test day finished. What a fascinating afternoon. 4 sessions. I finished up. My best time was a 22 or 2:22.2. And when I went out in that last session, I just wanted to get into the 22s. But the thing I found fascinating is I started the morning session lapping at 2:30, 2:28 to 2:30. I'm feeling quite quick. But it's the ability to come in and download that information from the car, download the speed, the position, the braking, the ability to see a reference lap. And what that allows you to do is analyse where on the circuit you're losing time. And the thing with Oulton Park is there are a couple of corners that if you don't get them right, because these cars have such little power, they're like 60 odd horsepower, if you get your entry speed wrong, or you brake incorrectly, or you get your line wrong, you lose momentum. And it's a bit like one of these kind of turn-up go-karts. It takes you half a lap to get it back. And therefore, when you can look at that VBox tool and have it analysed with someone like Rob, who's a ex-professional racing driver, in fact he's a rally driver now, it's amazing. And it's got me, it's taken 8 seconds off my lap time today. As Rob just said, you find people will spend lots of money trying to get a half a second or a second out of a car by different tyres, different shock absorbers, different setup. If you just understand how you're driving the car and where you can improve entry speed, apex, exit speed, whatever it might be, you can find time. And I'm now in the same second as my 3 teammates that will join me tomorrow. In fact, we're going to do a track walk now. So I'm really super chuffed. And I think in the race tomorrow, given the right conditions, I reckon I could maybe get into the 221s, maybe. But yeah, super happy. So I'm going to get my race suit off, and now we're going to go and do a track walk, and that will help us just look at the details. There's a few bits, braking points and so on, that you're looking at when you're in the car, but to be able to look at those when you're walking around is going to be super useful.
So one of my teammates has turned up. I'm sure you'll meet her tomorrow. And then Rob is just walking us around. We've analysed the data on the VBox, and I understand where I've still got time to take out. I'm sure I've got maybe 3 or 4 tenths, I think, comfortably I've got in the car. But what we're doing now is we're walking around and just analysing braking points, turning points, really understanding the contours. The hairpin here, it's got such a camber on it. You feel it in the car a little bit, but it's not till you walk it you realise just how much there is. But it's such a beautiful circuit, Oulton Park. And we've had an amazing day. So yeah, I'm going to walk the course and then head to my Purple Palace and get some rest. It's been a long day today. Good morning, it is race day. Now things have changed a little bit round here. So we've now got a garage full of cars, our cars at the front. I've met my teammates, but yeah, if I just slowly spin the car, yeah, there's a lot of cars and a lot of trucks. There's about 38 cars racing, as in Ford cars racing in our race today. So it should be an absolute bundle of fun. So it's 8 o'clock, scrutineering has just started. Scrutineers are walking around the garages, just checking kit, having a look at cars. And then we've got quali at 10:30, race starts at 12:30. Super exciting. I don't think we're the only race on the card today. The little MX-5s that were on the test day yesterday, they're going to be having a race as well. But it's all good. But first up on the list, very important, I need a cup of tea. Now the big difference in qualifying was we had new tyres on, or certainly newer than my test session. I was carrying a lot more grip and therefore thought I could carry a lot more speed. As I came down into Cascades, knowing it was such an important corner, I just tried to carry a little bit more speed and just got the apex completely wrong. I'm now understeering and then off I go onto the grass. There's a big bump just there. And that was the end of that lap for sure, and caused some damage to the car. But I was able to continue and the car felt okay. So we now join me towards the end of my fastest lap of qualifying. You can just see my delta. At the moment I'm about 0.7 of a second down on our reference lap, and I ended up bringing it home. We just come across here with a 23.02. All the grass on the floor is my fault. It's one of my lovely teammates. I'm sorry, mate. Your car flies.
Yeah, it's good to know. Good to know.
It flew in literal more ways than one. It literally did fly.
I've flown in it as well, don't worry.
But it's okay, we think. We just had to drag it into the garage just to make sure the radiator was okay. Team boss, is the car okay?
All good.
But I did a 23, so I'm happy with that. But let's go and see if the boys can bring it home and do a faster lap than that. Woo!
All good?
Yeah,
Decided to go ploughing.
21.
Really good. Really, really good.
Nice.
The car feels right after my little excursion.
Yeah, I think so. It's an aerodynamic modification to the front end.
Radio check if you want, Oliver.
So qualifying is over, and yeah, unfortunately there's a little bit less aero on the front of the little car, thanks to me. Sorry team, I ran out of talent at Cascades. I thought I could take a bit more through it than I could, and that wasn't the case. That is the racing driver excuse dartboard. Basically all of us were asked what time we did in quali and why it wasn't good enough, and then you throw a dart on there and it tells you exactly why. I was drunk last night apparently. But qualifying is over. We qualified 29th out of 37 cars, I think. And unfortunately, one of the guys had a really good lap, like a low 21, and it was disqualified because of track limits, unfortunately. So I think our best lap was a low 22, which is fine. It's a 5-hour endurance race, so out and out lap time isn't that important. But the guys at the front, we're in like the 22, 23, or 2-minute 22, 2-minute 23. The guys out front, they're doing 2:18s. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, we've got a couple of hours now until the race, and the boys are going to try and fix the front of the car. This is amazing. The guys have been out on the track, had a chat with the marshals, and got all the bits from the front of the car. So we're now going to start cable tying them together. I reckon we could get this looking concours. Look at that.
Yeah, that bit's there.
Concourse is maybe going a bit far.
Yeah, maybe, and then that bit's a bit dirty just there. That was wicked. This is just epic. The guys have put the 3 bits together, cable tied it together. Look at that, I mean, it's seamless. Concourse condition. But I think in all seriousness though, there is a rule that says that the cars have got to have their bumpers on. So actually, it's quite important to get that back on. So super lucky the guys went out, found it lying on the side of the track. But yeah, all's good. I feel a lot less bad now because, well, the car doesn't look like a complete wreck. The job is finished and they've got me to sign it with my racing driver excuse. I was drunk last night, honest, but I think they've done an amazing job. Look at that. All good. No mega damage underneath. Radiator's a little bit bent, but not worth replacing apparently. So that's all good, it's working okay. But yes, amazing repair job. Absolutely amazing repair job. Okay, it is time to go racing. The cars have gone down to the assembly area. Now, the rain, it's still quite light, but it's been like this for the last hour or so. So we've just heard that it's actually going to be a safety car start. So they're going to do a couple of laps behind the safety car just to, I guess, just to get a dry line or just to see what the water's like, and then we will go. There's 4 of us in the car. You've got to do at least 3 driver changes, so that's fine. That's us changing, and I am in 3rd. So let's see how we get on. It should be good. If I'm honest, I would have preferred it to be the conditions I had yesterday afternoon and this morning. I have driven Oulton Park in the wet. When I first did my How to Become a Racing Driver series in the little Clio 182, I did a coaching session here with Mark Hammersley and we did do some wet laps. So I have driven around here and know the wet line. I've spoken to the guys because they were here on a track day on Wednesday and it was damp running. So it'll just be a case of feeling the car really. But the car is back in one piece thanks to the awesome team here. So yeah, let's go racing. It's still raining quite a lot. We are 50 minutes in. There've been 3 or 4 safety cars, but our first driver, Nudge, is in 4th. He's doing absolutely amazing. Now, we haven't stopped for a driver change, so that is a slightly artificial number, but no, I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's driving brilliantly. He has had a little bit of damage or a little bit of an incident on the same wing that I did in qualifying. So when we come in, I think there might be a little bit of work to do on the car. But he's driving brilliantly. However, the rain has not stopped since the race started. In fact, if anything, it's got worse. And I can actually see standing water and like rivers coming down the pit lane. So I'm sure out on circuit it's going to be pretty sketchy. But I'm not in the car for another hour or so. So you never know, sun might come out. Really exciting. We were in a safety car window for the next driver change. Rob has done unbelievably. He's running in 4th. Johnny's next in the car, and they've just called a safety car. Someone's gone into the gravel, which for us works brilliantly because that basically means it's not a free pit stop by any means, but it means we get much less of an impact on us. So yeah, really cool. So next up, Johnny. Come on, son. And then it's me. It's still raining, by the way.
Your 3rd through.
It's like my repair didn't last very long.
Yeah, 3rd gear, turn 1, taking that phase. Turn 1, stay with the traction. So I lost the location, I was just done, sir.
It's done awesome. Oh no, look!
I ran over. I went through the 2nd gate.
What's the fuel level?
So nervous.
He wants a jug.
Perfect timing though, eh?
He's going to do a jug and then half a jug. Can I suggest that? Well, actually, they're not going to peel like this. Pull out the direct way.
Third on most corners. Third on most corners. I'm using 2nd gear out of the circuit. but it's quite high risk. And then second gear out of the last turn, again, high risk, you've got to get it down and it does go sideways. The really fast left-hander, just take a little bit of speed off before the hairpin. Over there, you want take a little bit of speed off with the brake and just go straight flat and just hold it. A lot of it is just turning in and the lunges to the wheels there and 9 seconds to get a nice drive out. You good?
Did it fill it? I mean, absolutely fill it. Yeah, drop back. It was to glug. No, it was to glug.
So let's ride on board for some of my highlights. I came out under a safety car and eventually came up behind the back of the pack, and that gave me the opportunity to do some overtaking. So we're coming here into Old Hall. I've decided to stick one up the inside. Very sketchy braking. You probably see my hands kind of fighting with the wheel a little bit. Just car very, very loose. And then spring forward, we're now just coming round Island Bend. I'm coming up and it's a case of how brave am I? I'm going to stick one up the inside here coming into Island Bend. In the drier, flat corner, certainly not flat in the wet. And then I'm just eyeing up this car in front thinking if I just pull round to the outside, maybe I can outbrake him into Shell Oils. And that's exactly what I do. Just hoping that the braking off the racing line, the grip's good, then that guy goes a bit wide, so I'm going to have him on the inside as well. So that's 3 overtakes in the first quarter of a lap. Happy with that. Now coming up a little bit faster. Now this is coming up into Lodge. Difficult corner at the best of times, but to try and outbrake someone down into Lodge was certainly taking a brave pill coming round into Deer Leap. Managed to get that one done okay. Again, here's Lodge again. I think we'll just find here, this is just following, and you spend a lot of time behind the car trying to get all of your momentum, trying to work out where you're going to take them. Here I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have this guy into Old Hall and just hopefully outbrake them and then manage to finish the corner off, which managed to get on the brakes. Big brave pill again, lots of sideways action on the car. Yeah, this is a bit of a snap of oversteer coming into Lodge. Ooh. Got hold of it, kept hold of it. Again, coming up behind a big gaggle of cars, they're fighting for each other, and you just think there's got to be an opportunity to take here. And again, coming round Island, then into Shell Oils, outbraking the car on my left into Shell Oils. And again, somebody had dragged some dirt onto the track. So now we're back behind these two. The visibility was terrible. It was pretty much like this the whole race. But I'm getting faster and faster. This is now coming down into Deer Leap. Another moment. But I'm really focusing on that car in front, and I'm getting quicker and quicker and more confident in the car. And this is where the problem starts. We're coming down into Old Hall. I'm going to try and go on the inside, and I just leave my braking just a little bit too late. I'm now struggling at the apex. I'm just going to understeer off, go wide, track limits, get all kinds of stuff on my tyres, and then coming around the corner down into Cascades, I just massively get my braking wrong, whether there was still stuff on my tyres, and the back's going to snap there and then back the other way, and I'm going to go backwards. And at this point I'm going backwards, foot hard on the brake, hoping nothing's behind me for me to hit. And I managed to pull away, and the car pulls away, but I can hear a really noisy rubbing at the front of the car. At this point I don't know what it is. It turns out it's actually the bumpers come off and it's rubbing along the tarmac. But now it's just a case of bringing the car round to the pits, coming into the pits, and at the same time we'll do a driver change because my stint was pretty much an hour in anyway. But yeah, not good at all.
Something else falls off underneath, goes under a wheel, and he's in the barrier.
I'm back. So that was a stint that was a bit mixed. I had quite a lot of yellow flags and safety cars. I had 2 or 3 safety car sessions. The circuit's so mixed. Some corners have got quite high grip considering the wet weather, and others are very, very slippy. I'm pleased in myself that I overtook more cars than overtook me, and I had some nice dices with people, and I was running all right. And then towards the end, I just went wide at turn 1 and just got lots of shit on my tyres, and then I just outbroke myself into that sweeping left-hander. That's the second time I've come off there and ended up going backwards. And then, so I went backwards, I got something in the bumper caught in the front wheel and it was rubbing. So luckily I'd been out just over an hour, so it was pretty much time for my pit stop anyway. So I came in and Debs has gone back out to bring it home. It's about an hour and 20 minutes to go. But amazing experience. But yeah, I think I was running up reasonably high up the order, you know, 11th, 12th, 13th, that kind of place, I think. But yeah, I'm just disappointed with myself that I just made that error, but I made a couple of other errors and caught them. But when it goes, it's so fast, you have to catch it super, super quick. But yeah, let's see what Debs can do, see where we finish. And that, as they say, is that we have just finished, and we brought the car home in P18, which is the guy's best finish this season. So super happy with that. Really close racing. The first and second car for the last 5 or 10 laps were just neck and neck. Brilliant racing, and they had a fair and square race. But teammates, well done. Relax.
Nice one.
Well done. That's your best finish this
Best
season
finish so far? Yeah. Yeah, it was 19th before, now 18th. So
we'll take that. We'll take that.
Take that.
And she brought it home well. Deb did well.
She did. Yeah. Thank you.
Wicked. Right, now is the time to get home, and now I need to say thank you to somebody very special. Thank you, mate.
No problem, thank you.
Rob from Race Logic.
Car's
Mega.
largely intact and it's still running.
Largely
You had a
intact.
good
I do
time.
have a souvenir.
Yeah.
But P18?
Yeah, it's good, solid. I think I told you last night, I said that I sort of thought top 20 would
Yeah.
be. That was when I thought it was going to be dry. The guys did a fantastic job to run as high as they did.
Yeah.
Debs has a really long stint out there.
She's done awesome, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Absolutely mega.
So many safety cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, well done.
Yeah. Wicked.
Enjoy it. Safe drive home now.
Yeah, I know. I need to go home for dinner. But yeah, no. So anyway, massive thanks to Race Logic. I'll put all the details below. Honestly, I was saying before, I could not have competed like I did today without the analysis using the data off the car yesterday. It's as simple as that. The confidence it gave me in the car was wicked. But yeah, massive shout out to everybody. So thank you, mate.
No problem. Thank you.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. But one more person, he's like my Bono on the radio. Thank you, mate.
Job. No,
Yeah.
you brought it home. It may have been a little bit beaten up, but you did it.
A bit beaten up, and he fixed it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Legends, thank you. Right, and anyway, I'm going to get in my car and go home because it's wet and raining and horrible. Another legend, thank you.
Well done.
Right, and look at this. They've emptied the garage as we were finishing. Everything's in the lorry, so we're going home. My car's that way. I'll see you on the next film, guys. You take care. Drive safe.